Every morning between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m., we release our Central Indiana Scoreboard Show. It's similar to ESPN Radio Sports Center, but focuses on the Pacers, Fever, Colts, IndyCar, and the best college and high school sports coverage in Central Indiana. Please join us for your daily audio sports section.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Welcome, track and field fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report and our boys track and field regional preview. Today is May 29th, 2025. It's a Thursday. It's another day for Central Indiana sports, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, podcasting today from Jeffersonville. Producer Susie is in the control room. Coming up, we have all the top seeds and local performers at the regionals at Lawrence Central, Fort Wayne, Carroll, and Lafayette Jeff, with the Mengelt formulation to predict the regional champions and the top contenders. Before we get to all of that, I'm going to ask you to please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. It's easy to find. Please do it so you don't miss a single segment. We're going to have lots of video there pretty soon. We released our girls track and field regional scoreboard show earlier Thursday, and we'll have our baseball and softball sectional scoreboards later today, if my dental procedure doesn't keep me from doing it. If it does, we'll continue to update you on the baseball and softball sectionals throughout the weekend and into next week and all of that. Of course, Friday we'll also have our boys track and field regional scoreboard show. Late Thursday, the gang and I will react to the Pacers-Knicks Game 5 Eastern Conference Finals. That'll be sometime around midnight Thursday, and for those of you who will not be awake, it'll be there for you first thing Friday. We're going to start our look at the regionals at the Lafayette Jeff Regional. I will go through each event, the top three seeds in each event, and then give all of our local athletes who will be keeping an eye on in the regional. Then at the end, I will give my Mengelt formulation. That's my own personal formula to try to figure out who's going to win the regional and who's going to compete for the titles. I consider myself somewhat of a track and field expert. Reminder, the top three in each event advance to the state finals next weekend. Fourth and fifth places will have to hope for to be one of the top in their event, not in the top three, to get a wild card spot into the state finals. Okay, in the 100-meter dash at the Lafayette Jeff Regional, the top seed is Isaac Nelson from Carroll. His top time is 10.75. By the way, just saw a tweet from him. He'll be visiting Wake Forest pretty soon as a potential football recruit. Angel Wilson from Noblesville is the number 2 seed, and Maconaquah's A.J. Kelly is the 3rd seed. Westfield's Cato June is the 4th seed, so he'll also have a very good chance to advance. The others in this event locally, Kokomo's Malachi Harper, Garen's James Moody, and Northwestern's Declan Aaron. Angel Wilson is the number 1 seed in the 200. His top time is 22.11, and A.J. Kelly from Maconaquah is the number 2 seed at 22.19. Man, those are fast times. James Moody is the 3 seed from Garen. Then the number 5 seed is Westfield's Caden Gerhart. The 6th seed is Westfield's Caleb Terrell. Also in this event, Malachi Harper from Kokomo, Carroll's Brody Ray, and Hamilton Southeastern's Tyler Tholen. In the 400, there are 5 really good contenders for the top 3 spots, including the top seed, Hamilton Southeastern senior Christian Ortiz, his time 50.09 in the sectional. Hayden Clur from Garin, Brennan Wood from West Lafayette, and Deacon Lewis from Hamilton Southeastern, and Fisher's Rocky Duplessis all should be contenders to advance. Noblesville has 3 of the top 4 seeds in the 800, but the top seed is Westfield senior Will Snedeker. His sectional time was 154.11. Then for Noblesville, Banner Barnes, Braden Livingston, and Isaiah Vose are seeds 2, 3, and 4, with Fisher's Declan Moore and Bryson Slagle 5 and 6. Hamilton Southeastern's Mason Schmitz is the 7 seed. Braden Clausen of Clinton Prairie is 13th. Joel Lashnowski of Mechanic-Wall 14th. Tate Strong of Logansport is the 15 seed. And Mechanic-Wall's Dalen Schrock is the 16 seed. Jack Strong of Noblesville is the top seed in the 1600, just ahead of Carmel senior Jay Kiefer. We can call him 1A and 1B. Noblesville's Banner Barnes is the 3 seed. Westfield's Luke Mulder is 4. Carmel's Carter Burr 5. Fisher's Parker Melling 6. Hamilton Heights Rudy Bowman 7. Quite a field. Cooper Cage of Kokomo is the 9 seed. Johnny Martinez of Delphi is the 10 seed. And Mechanic-Wall's Dalen Schrock is the 11 seed. Also in this event, locally, Spencer Dunn and Preston Areola. In the 3200, again, quite a race. Liam Powers of Hamilton Southeastern's top time was 9:12.68 in the sectional. John Libbs of Noblesville was 9:13.82. And Sam Quigliori, the cross-country state champion from Fishers, 9:14.58. That's going to be a good one. Carmel's Lucas Bartlett should also be a contender. He's the 4th seed, as well as Clinton Prairie's Hayden Kemple, also an elite distance runner. Hamilton Southeastern's Isaac Smith is the 6th seed, and Carmel's Jonah Cole is the 7. Westfield's Ty Connor is the 8th seed, and Frankfurt's Christopher Angelis is 9th. Also in the 3200 locally, Camden Robb from Western, Clinton Central's Spencer Dunn, Western's Maddox Carver, and Northwestern's Mason Brecker. In the 100 hurdles, the top seed is Harrison freshman Zion Clopton. His sectional time was 14.66. Westfield junior Logan Tuck went 14.67 last week. The number 3 seed is Sam Long from Hamilton Southeastern. Also in the field in the 110 highs locally, Omer Daniels from Kokomo's the 6th seed. Rowan McGee from Fishers. Hamilton Heights Adna Wolfgang. Garen's Sephron Smith. Noblesville's Kamari Ramsey, Mechanic-Wall's Nolan Tarr, and Clinton Prairie's Braden Jarbo. In the 300 hurdles, Sam Long from Hamilton Southeastern is the number 1 seed with a sectional time of 39.45, followed by Lebanon junior Daniel Richardson and Harrison's Zion Clopton. Also in the 300 hurdles locally, Fisher's Cortez Foster, Hamilton Southeastern's Hadi Tabanya, Braden DeWest of Westfield, Kokomo's Omer Daniels, Carmel's Mac Mirza, Mechanic-Wall's Nolan Tarr, and Tipton's Zane Emberton. Westfield is the top seed in the 4x100 relay with a time of 41.83, followed by Carmel and Hamilton Southeastern. Also in it locally, Fishers, Kokomo, Noblesville, Hamilton Heights, Western, Northwestern, and Carroll. Westfield has the top seed in the 4x4 pretty comfortably over Hamilton Southeastern, which is the number 2 seed comfortably over Carmel. Also in the field, Fishers, Garin, Noblesville, Kokomo, Northwestern, and Carroll. And in the 4x8, Harrison is the top seed with a blazing time of 7:56.82. West Lafayette is the 2 seed, and Hamilton Southeastern the 3. In Westfield, Fishers, Noblesville, Carmel, Garin, Hamilton Heights, Tipton, and Northwestern. A familiar name in the world of Central Indiana track and field is Young at Kokomo. And there's another one. Jeremiah Young of Kokomo is the top seed in the long jump. He went 23.2.5 at the sectional. He'll be challenged by Harrison's Jacob Schwartz, who went 22.4 3/4. Lebanon's Jeremiah Howard is the 3 seed, followed by John Anthony Hall of Fishers, Dylan James of Hamilton Southeastern, and Elim Brodnax of Carmel. Also in the field, locally, Peru's Oliver Rabe, Braxton Gardner of Fisher, Lapel's Reed Hamilton, Kokomo's Derek Ross, Julian Levine of Cass, and Connor Rios of Clinton Prairie. Damon Winston of Sheridan is the top seed in the high jump. He was the only competitor in this field who last week cleared 6 feet 6 inches. 3 competitors cleared 6'4", Benjamin McBurdy from Harrison, Robertson Campbell from Westfield, and Conrad Hayden from Fishers. Also in the field locally, Hamilton Southeastern's Chris Beck, Eli Falkenberg of Carroll, Carmel's Gabriel Davis, Taylor Santana Howard, Carroll's Brody Ray, Julian Levine of Cass, Fisher's Austin Gesseman, and Northwestern's Braxton Schieffer. Tipton's Caleb Farr is the top seed in the pole vault. He shares that honor with Frankfurt's Owen Hudspeth and Hamilton Southeastern's Evan Senefield. They all three cleared 14 feet at the sectional. Westfield's Alex Wilson, Maconaquah's Caden Hansen, Westfield's Lucas Bland, Western's Mylan Bennett and Camden Euler, Noblesville's Lux Foster, and Carmel's Dean Watson will also compete in the pole vault at the Jeff Regional. Jedediah Beard is the top seed in the shot put. He, of course, is from Kokomo, and he went 56-10 last week. His top competitor is from right down the road, Andrew Cavazos from Eastern, went 55-6 1/4. Fisher's Mason Cantwell is the 3 seed. Will Duncan of Hamilton Heights is the 4, and then Theo Thurman from Carmel is the 5th seed, followed by his teammate Ozzie Pollard. Also in the field locally, Peru's Brantley Edwards, Hamilton Heights' Max Torres, Fisher's Tyler Maynard, Noblesville's Mason McDermott, and Carroll's Kingston Ayers. Ozzie Pollard of Carmel is the top seed in the discus. His 177.5 was 2 feet longer than Fisher's Jav Hutton at the sectional. Carmel's Theo Thurman is the 3rd seed, followed by Kokomo's Jedediah Beard, who has a really good chance to get out in 2 events. Also in the field locally, Carroll's Kingston Ayers, Westfield's Job Maverick, Tri-Central's Tate Stebbins, Caleb Johnson of Noblesville, Brantley Edwards of Peru, and KJ Mallet of Hamilton Southeastern. The Mengelt formulation says that the Lafayette Jeff sectional is going to be won by Hamilton Southeastern, but that is definitely not a given. Westfield and Harrison, neither one has ever won a regional, has a chance of winning this. Also competing for top 5 spots will be Carmel, Fishers, and Noblesville. Now we move to Fort Wayne Carroll, where Homestead beat Northrop by 6.5 points last year for the regional title. It was Homestead's first ever regional championship, and this year's final standings are going to look completely different. We'll get to the Mengelt formulation after we get through the top seeds and local competitors in the regional at Fort Wayne Carroll. I'm going to be voicing the rest of this preview after my dental procedure, so hold on to see how that goes. Don't think it's going to be too bad. You may notice it a little bit, but dental procedure taken care of, and here we go. In the 100-meter dash at the regional at Fort Wayne Carroll, the top seed is Carroll's DeJuan Green, who ran a 10.79. In the sectional, the second seed is Yorktown's Daniel Davis. He ran a 10.93. Fort Wayne North's Tristan Newsom is the 3 seed, followed by Delta's Gray Backus and Oak Hill's Jalen Scott. They both have excellent chances of advancing to the state championship. Also in the 100-meter dash from the local area in the regional at Carroll is Colson Kugler from Wabash, Eastbrook's Damian Blevins, and Colin Reyes, Muncie Central's LaDamian Brown, and Huntington North's Jaden Howell. Daniel Davis of Yorktown is the top seed in the 200-meter dash. He ran a 22.29 in the sectional. The number 2 seed is Snyder Sean Conley, who ran a 22.39. Gray Backus of Delta is the 3 seed, so he has a chance to advance in both, as does Wabash's Colson Kogler and Eastbrook's Damian Blevins, who are also in the 200, as is Blevins' teammate Colin Reyes and Muncie Central's LaDamian Brown and Huntington North's Nolan Mitchell. Nolan Miller of Leo is the top seed in the 400. He ran a 48.83 at his sectional. Northrop's Devontae Carter and Bluffton's Jude Baumgarter are the 2nd and 3rd seeds, right ahead of Wapahani's Preston McCorkle. Also locally competing in the 400 will be KJ Hudson of Yorktown, Avery Williams Tiller of Muncie Central, Mississippi's Dylan Davis, and Marion's Caden Daniel. Jace Trevino of Homestead is the top seed in the 800. He ran a 156.57 last week. Snyder's Marvin Sanchez Garcia and Marion's Elijah Magruder are the 2nd and 3rd seeds. A couple other local contenders will be Lance Wyrick of Oak Hill, Wapahani's Caleb Abert, Yorktown's Wyatt Turner, Mississippi's Kyler North, and Wabash's Ezra Church. Great field. Also in the field, Cooper Drake of Southwood, Cameron Deckman of Delta, and Eastbrook's Paul Ritchie. Wyatt Turner of Yorktown is the top seed in the 1600. He ran a 4:21.09 last week. about 2 seconds faster than New Haven's Brian Garcia. Columbia City's Gavin Good is the 3 seed. Nathaniel Beck of Marion, Jonas Church of Wabash, they will also be very competitive and a chance to advance to state. Also in the 1600 at the Carroll Regional locally is Oak Hill's Corbin Tippy, Wabash's Caden Burchett, Muncie Central's Reggie Reynolds, and Delta's Noah Parrott. Marion's Michael Harrington is the top seed in the 3200. He ran a 9:46.01 last week. Wabash's Isaiah Cordes is the 2nd seed. He ran at 9:48.14. Homestead's Cooper Knobloch will also be a contender for the regional championship. Locally in the 3200 field are Wapahani's Mason Tomboni, Wabash's Jace Bullens, Yorktown's Isaiah Loney, Jay County's Caleb Geringer, Marion's Nathaniel Beck, and Delta's Peyton Ingle. In the hurdles, starting with the 110s, Braylon Tisdale from Homestead is the top seed. He ran a 14:59 last week. The 2nd seed is Aaron Vance of Snyder, the 3rd Marcus Bright of Delta. Gregory Wright of Muncie Central is the 8th seed, and Blade Harris of Madison Grant is the 10th seed. Jay County's Alum Elig, Huntington North's Luke Stoltz, Muncie Central's Kai Hyatt, Northfield's Blake Aderman, and Oak Hill's Drew Elzinga will also compete in the 110 high hurdles at the regional. August Adams of Carroll is the top seed in the 300 hurdles. He ran 39:25 last week, just a little faster than New Haven's Aaron Hoffer. Carter Campbell of Winchester is the 3rd seed, just ahead of Madison Grant's Blade Harris, who has an excellent chance of advancing. Also in the 300 hurdles field locally at Carroll, Adam Elig from Jay County, Kyle Hyatt from Muncie Central, Oak Hill's Drew Elzinga, and Micah McKinney. Eastbrook is the top seed in the 4x100 relay. They ran a 43.24 last week. There are at least 7 teams in this field that have a chance to advance. Leo is the 2 seed, Carroll the 3, Yorktown's the 5 seed, Delta the 6, and Oak Hill the 7. Also in the field, Mississinawa, Marion, Muncie Central, and Huntington North. Carroll is the top seed in the 4x4 relay, followed by Leo and Delta. Wabash is the 5 seed, and Frankton is the 7 seed, with Jack Harrison, Noah Melvin, Ashton Sigler, and Blake Nickham. I mention that because I once ran in the regional in the 4x400 relay. Shout out to my guys Andy, Charlie, and Eric. That was at North Central back in 1992. Go Eagles. Also, when I was a little kid, I used to go watch some Melvins run track meets, and they were track stars, so big fan of this relay team. Best of luck to them. Marion has the top-seeded 4x800 relay team with Elijah Magruder, Mike Harrington, Nathaniel Beck, and Caden Daniel. Their time last week was 8:01:50.38 seconds faster than Wabash. Columbia City is the 3 seed, followed by Oak Hill. Wapahani's the 6 seed, so a lot of local teams with a chance to advance. Northfield is the 8 seed, Muncie Central the 11, Delta the 12, Southwood the 13, and Jay County is the 15 seed. Yorktown's Ephraim Doherty is the top seed in the long jump. He went 22.1.5 last week. And Delta's Cameron Wilson is the 2 seed. He went 21.9 3/4. New Haven's Kavion Mitchell is the 3rd seed, also competing locally. Eastbrook's Damian Blevins, Oak Hill's Luke Elzinga, Muncie Central's Terry Miles, and Madison Grant's Zawan Johnson. Look out for him this coming basketball season. He has been getting his shots up. Speaking of basketball stars, Monroe Central's Easton Foster is the top seed in the high jump. He cleared 6 feet 8 inches last week. Bluffton's Eli Bursch is the 2nd seed. He cleared 6'5". And Frankton's Noah Melvin is the 5th seed. He cleared 6'3" last week. Cade Utchler of Delta and Marion's Jamari Johnson are both the 6 seeds. They both cleared 6'2" last week. And Muncie Central's Michael Williams cleared 6 feet and is the 8th seed. In the pole vault, Leo's Taryn Davis is the top seed, clearing 14 feet 6 inches last week. The 2nd seed is TJ Gatra of Carroll. Tied with the 3rd seed, both clearing 12.6 last week, are Madison Grant's William Ewer and Oak Hill's Kyle Brower. Madison Grant's Camden Williams cleared 12 feet last week and is the 5th seed, tied with Adam Lynn of Yorktown and Northfield's Tyler Hoppert. Also competing in the pole vault at the Carroll Regional are Scotty Middaugh of Huntington North, Mississinawa's Ethan Loft, Yorktown's Julian McKay, and the Muncie Central duo of Marcus Pearson and Justin Baldwin. Charlie Riddle of Heritage is the top seed in the shot put after throwing 54 9.25 last week. New Haven's John Buzzard is the 2 seed, and Wes Carmian of Norwell is the 3. Excellent chance to get out for Mississinawa's William Couse and Yorktown's Ephraim Eller. Also in the field locally in the shot put, Mason Downey of Huntington North, Muncie Central's Marquise Allen and Jamar Clark, and Yorktown's Henry Tokar. Muncie Central's Emmanuel Taylor is the number 1 seed by far in the discus. He went 174 feet last week. The number 2 seed is New Haven's John Buzzard, who went 158.1. Number 3, Rosen White of Madison Grant, who went 152. Also with an excellent chance to get out, Mississinawa's William Couse, Muncie Central's Luke Pavelka, Yorktown's duo of Tyler Whitehead and Chris Wilson, and Mississinawa's Quentin Pearson. And the Mengelt formulation says the favorite in this one is Carroll. It's a pretty significant favorite, but there are 2 teams with a chance to catch them, and that would be Yorktown or New Haven. It will come down to one of those 3 teams with our prediction: Carroll, Yorktown, then New Haven. Teams fighting for a top 5 finish will be Marion, Wabash, Delta, Leo, and defending champion Homestead. Mount Vernon is the 2-time reigning regional champion at Lawrence Central. Last year, they beat North Central by 6.5 points and Lawrence North by 12.5. Prior to that, they had never won a regional championship. In the 100-meter dash, Lawrence North, Jerome Smith is the top seed. He went 10.84 last week at the sectional, and Kalen Sargent from Chittard went 10.85. North Central's Isaac Kennedy, 10.87. And Mount Vernon, Sebastian Strag, 10.97. There's going to be fast and competitive final. Also in the 100-meter dash trials will be Eli Wasson of New Pal, Greenfield Central's Jalen Stuckey, and Pendleton Heights' Keaton Jones. In the 200, the top seed is Antonio Smith of North Central. He went 21.63 last week. Eli Wesson from New Pal should also contend for the regional championship. Franklin Central's Dennis Mitchell is the 3rd seed. Wasn't Dennis Mitchell once the fastest man in the world? Mount Vernon's Malachi Washington, Greenfield Central's Austin Kincher, and Pendleton Heights' Keaton Jones will all be fighting to be in the finals of the 200. Dim Holt of North Central is the number 1 seed in the 400. He went 47.6 last week. Sebastian Sprague of Mount Vernon and Kalen Sargent of Chittard are the 2nd and 3rd seeds. Competing in the 400 meters at Lawrence Central locally will be the Greenfield Central duo of Jordan Jones and Garrett Jack, Newcastle's Darren Reynolds, and Pendleton Heights' Ryder Englehart. Roncalli's Sam Vaught is the top seed in the 800, followed by Chittard's J.D. Haynes and Mount Vernon's Caden Quesada. Mount Vernon's Cooper Hunziker is the 6th seed and should be a contender to get to state. And New Pal's Jake Cooper is the 10th seed. The great Ahmad Saleh, I think we're at the point where we got to call him that but now all the time. Every time we refer to him, the great Ahmad Saleh is the number 1 seed in the 1600 and the 3200. He went 4:17.85 in the 1600 at sectional, just a fraction of a second faster than Lawrence North's Conrad Schumacher and Eastern Hancock's Preston Markley. Also competing in the 1600 at the Lawrence Central Regional locally, Mount Vernon's Landon Willis, Greenfield Central's Bryce Cotterman, and New Pal's Mike Bauer. Soleil went 9:29.87 at the sectional to gain the number 1 seed in the 3200, ahead of rival Benson Davis of Pendleton Heights. Those two had a classic finish at the Hoosier Heritage Conference cross-country meet earlier this year. Mount Vernon's Zayden Jensen is the 3rd seed, and Pendleton Heights' Zach White is the 4th seed. So a couple of Arabians, a couple of Marauders to see who will get to the state finals. Not if Preston Markley has anything to say about that. Markley from Eastern Hancock is the number 5 seed. The number 11 seed is John Waite from Greenfield Central, and his teammate Peter Hummel is the 12 seed. Rylan Hange of Franklin Central and Evan Williams of Lawrence Central are the co-top seeds in the 110 high hurdles. East Central's Trevor Perkins is the 3 seed. Also competing locally are Eastern Hancock's Hayden Jackson and Colton and Mason Anderson of Mount Vernon. In the 300 hurdles, Chittard's Phoenix Boyer is the top seed, followed by Rylan Hange and Anthony Lutz of Roncalli. Paxton Holmes of New Pal is the 5 seed, also competing locally. Hayden Jackson of Eastern Hancock, Mason Anderson of Mount Vernon, and Jake Hanley of Mount Vernon. Lawrence North, Warren Central, and Franklin Central are the top 3 seeds in the 400-meter relay. New Pal in Greenfield Central and Mount Vernon are all in the fast heat as the 6, 8, and 9 seeds. Anderson and Pendleton Heights will be in the other heat. North Central, Chittard, and Roncalli are the top 3 seeds in the 4x4 relay. Mount Vernon and Greenfield Central are the 5 and 6 seeds. Pendleton Heights is 15th. And the first event of the day, the 4x8 relay, Roncalli is the top seed, followed by Franklin Central and North Central. New Pal's the 5 seed, Mount Vernon 8, and Anderson is number 16. We move to the field events where Brebeuf's Cameron Kelly went 23.5 last week to be the top seed in the long jump. Adonis Hughes of Tech is the 2 seed, followed by Monchin Sales of Lawrence North. Mount Vernon's Sebastian Sprague will be a definite possibility to advance to state. He is the 6th seed. Warren Central's Chaz Corley is the top seed in the high jump. He's the only competitor who cleared 6.5 last week. And Jay Murovich of Brebeuf cleared 6.3 last week. 5 competitors cleared 6.2, so it should be a great fight for the top 3 spots. Also competing locally, Bradley Steveler of Greenfield Central, Anderson's Jensen Schrock and Javon Warfield, Mount Vernon's Charlie Cole, and APA's Marcus McLean. North Central's Conrad Gelhausen is the top seed in the pole vault. He cleared 14 feet last week. New Pal's Quinn Cromer and Franklin Central's Preston Stockwell both cleared 13.6 last week. Mount Vernon's Sawyer Rumanier cleared 12.6. He is the 6th seed. Also in the field, Liam Taylor of Greenfield Central, Owen Barrett of Newcastle, and Ryan Kane of New Pal. And Richmond's got the throwers, man. They have the top 2 seeds in the shot put with Jacob Lindahl and Mason Heine. The 3rd seed is East Central's Will Kemper. Competing locally in the shot put at Lawrence Central will be Gabe Martin of Pendleton Heights, and Shenandoah's Camden Williams. Mason Heine of Richmond is the top seed in the discus. He went 172.3 last week. Kemper went 171.9. That should be a really good fight at the top of the discus standings. Greenfield Central, Zachary Blevins and Vaughn Quigley are contenders as well, as is Davin Williams of Mount Vernon and Gabe Martin of Pendleton Heights. And to the Mingelt formulation, North Central has not won a regional championship in 8 years, but the Mingelt formulation says that ends this year. The Panthers are going to win this regional. The question is, who will finish second? Because the formula says basically it's a tie between Mount Vernon, Lawrence North, and Franklin Central. So it'll basically come down to who is the better team on the day. But we believe that North Central will win the Lawrence Central Regional. A quick look at the other regionals around the state. Center Grove is going for its 4th straight regional championship at Plainfield. Penn is going for its 5th straight at Goshen. Bloomington North is going for its 5th straight and 17th overall at Bloomington. Floyd Central is going for its 3rd straight at Evansville Central. And Munster is the defending champion at Valparaiso. Thank you so much for joining us. Always appreciate it. If you like what you hear and want us to grow and thrive, please help us out by sharing these podcasts with your friends and family. We would humbly accept your help. Thank you so much. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.